in the Club Clutch, and Lauren and I are together this time, in person. So today we're going to be talking about, we haven't talked about LeBron James yet going to Philadelphia. So we're going to, as if it hasn't been talked about enough yet in media, we're going to talk about that. And then we've each come up with 5 trade candidates for our somewhat sad Golden State Warriors team.
Not looking good this year.
Is sad the right word? Like, what adjective would you give to the Golden State Warriors?
Well, I mean, the illustration that comes to mind at the moment is, like, what was it? Einstein's, if you just keep doing the same thing you've always done, expecting different results, it's insane, right? That's
right.
Definition of insanity. And how many times can you roll it back with the same core and expect something different? And this is another massive swing and a miss. I feel like this is like 4 years in a row. Big swings in free agency, big swings in between the season, and just nothing really coming out of it.
So we're going to act as Dunleavy in this episode and come up with 5 trade options for the Warriors.
Sure.
But before I do that, I had a thought yesterday.
Yeah.
Is Bob Myers a top 5 GM or like basketball operations guy of all time?
He is a savant.
Like, he just got LeBron in Philly.
Yeah.
He got Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. He whiffed on 2 draft picks in Wiseman and Kuminga. So that was Bob Myers.
Isn't that part of the rumor, is that Joe Lacob was pulling the strings on those draft picks and he really liked Wiseman and was super hot on Kuminga?
Yeah.
I mean, Wiseman had the biggest ceiling in that draft, but we didn't realize that his floor was in the basement. Like, that's the really unfortunate part about it.
Well, and it was the COVID draft, right? And so they actually couldn't, they only had like high school tape on him.
Well, that's right, because he got injured in his college year and barely played. And so that's what I mean. Like, you had in your imagination this dominating center who looked like he could have been athletic enough, but just didn't have the reps under his belt to play in such a high octane, high IQ sort of thing. I don't know. You're looking back on that draft, there's some really good players in that draft, but you just don't know. Like, who would have taken Tyrese Halliburton over James Wiseman in that draft? Like, in retrospect, it's obvious that would have been the best move.
Yeah.
But in these things, you just don't know. So.
And LaMelo Ball, like LeVar Ball, I think was a huge reason why the Warriors didn't get LaMelo.
Of course. Like, you didn't want that.
You don't want the family, yeah.
Especially if you're like a team that has Steph Curry, there. And that was the year before the punch, right?
Yes. Was it?
So, and that was the draft before the punch. And so...
No, the draft before the punch, they won the championship, and then the punch happened. So that was like 2 drafts.
Yeah, right. So the punch hadn't happened.
No.
So Golden State has this family-friendly, strength in numbers, sort of joy style that they're cultivating. And, bringing the LeVar family into that, or the Ball family into that, just is not the right thing. So hindsight is your best thing, but going back to your question about Bob Myers, like, that guy, and the things that he could control in terms of who he's bringing in, being able to convince Kevin Durant to come sign on that team and then go in 73-9 the following season, like, that's magic. And then being able to, go on and talk about Rich Paul, and would talk with Rich Paul on the podcast, and nobody in the world is thinking that there's a chance in hell that LeBron James will go and sign in Philly, and then finding out a couple weeks later, like weeks later, that's what happened. Far out. He's, picked some really good battles. He's come out ahead on that one.
What do you think of the LeBron James going to Philly?
We were talking about this, and I just didn't think that it was going to be something that would happen. I thought he was too story conscious.
Yeah.
And I thought that the most beautiful return to his career would be going back to Cleveland. But then there was a beautiful story in The Ringer talking about how LeBron James has always chased super teams. And going to Miami, super team. Going to Los Angeles, that is the opportunity to create a super team in LA.
Yep.
He certainly made some really good teams in Cleveland when he went back. And so I think we were talking about this a while ago, just like Roger Federer, when he was looking to retire, one of the reasons he stayed for a couple of years longer is he just loved the game and loved playing at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no country club in the world that he was going to go get a competitive game at. And so you play hoping that you'll taste that triumph, but you've tasted it. So like anything less than that, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So here he's got a team that you can legitimately get deep into the playoffs, and you look at the roster and you think, yeah, we've got a good chance to make it out of the East. And so why not? Like, you're definitely not going to get that in Golden State with the roster that they've got. So, it makes sense. And being able to play, he's going to put points records, assist records, potentially all the other records that he's got. They're going to be way out of reach. Who else is going to have a career like this for this long? He's just going to be, the greatest of all time in so many.
What do you think of the basketball fit? Like, you got Jaylen Brown, very ball heavy. Joel Embiid, who, he's your $40, $50 million per year player who might play 40 to 50 games this year, if like on the high side.
Yeah.
You've got a young guy in Edgecombe, and then Maxey, who has surpassed all expectations in his career. Like, how will this all morph? And will LeBron be able to play like the fifth highest paid player in that starting lineup?
I think, like, the opportunity that's before you, all of these guys have got to be smart enough to be able to see what's going on. And if you're Embiid and you haven't played, like, I heard a crazy stat that he's only played like 120 games over the last 5 seasons or something crazy like that. Like, I don't know what you can fact check me and put it in the comments below, but like, he's got to be looking at it. And the way he played last year, especially at the start of the season, and everybody's saying, you got to retire, you can't move anymore. This is last chance. You've got 1, if not 2 years to get a ring before you retire for medical reasons. Like, if you're not smart enough and humble enough to seize the opportunity, you're going to miss it. So Embiid's going to be the linchpin there. He's got to play pick and roll. He's got to play a little bit lower, pick and pop sort of style, but he can't be dominating the ball. And same with LeBron. LeBron's at his stage where he's going to pick his moments, pick his spots. And when he does pick, you get out the way because he's that talented still. But he's not going to need to do it every night.
No.
The one that's going to be the most interesting is Jaylen Brown for me, because the whole narrative in Boston was Jaylen wanted his own team. And now he's sharing it with Embiid, with LeBron, with Maxey. That will be, the kicker to see if that was actually really what was going on. But you've got Edgecombe and Maxey who can run all day. You've got Jaylen Brown, who's strong as an ox, like just is an impressive basketball player. And then if the older guys, if they can play a little more intelligent than athletic, I think this is a scary team.
So I heard Philly wants to play him at point guard, wants to play LeBron at the 1.
Yeah, right, okay.
So how would that lineup even go? Like, Edgecombe, he's not super... Are you playing Jaylen at the 4 then? Like, I guess positionless basketball typically, but in my opinion, they need to run and transition a ton.
And they've got the legs to do it.
They've got the leg. And then when you get in the half court, that's when you can start to incorporate a Joel Embiid offense.
Yeah, right.
So get out and transition on a missed basket as much as you can. Joel Embiid doesn't need to run the floor at that point. He can just lag behind and then...
And if you got LeBron and Embiid as your 2 primary rebounders, Jaylen Brown as well, so you got 3 guys that are not short, intelligent rebounders, and then you've got Maxey and Edgecombe like sprinting the floor on misses, especially on defensive side. There's going to be a lot of transition points available. Like, those guys are just, football passes and it's going to be tough to beat. They're going to be a nightmare to play. You're just going to be like...
Do you think they'll be... I sort of have this take where I still think in the regular season, they'll be a 5th or 6th seed in the Eastern Conference.
You think that low?
I do.
Well, like, why? Who's going to...
I think New York is still better than them.
Okay.
I'm really high on Toronto if Kawhi Leonard goes to Toronto.
Yeah, we'll see. He might be out for the season.
Yeah,
That's
who knows?
Crazy.
Assuming he's there to start, I'm putting Toronto above them.
Yeah.
I think the last time that Indiana had a healthy Halliburton, they were in the finals.
Yeah.
So I've actually still got Indiana ahead of them. I think in the regular season, Boston will still have a better record than them.
Wow.
Paul George isn't a scrub.
No, he's not. But like,
I think their coach is better. I think their
Nick
best
Nurse is a championship coach as well, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes, he is. But what has he done since?
They got lucky.
So is Missoula.
Injured
Golden State Warriors.
team.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the East is so deep, and I think LeBron and Joel Embiid won't play enough games to be a top 3 seed.
Right. And I wonder if they're just not even worrying about that. As long as they've got, you know, 5th to higher in the standings.
And that's why I'm saying, why I'm just saying in the regular season.
Yeah,
just get to the dance. So I'm saying they'll be in the top 6, but not top 3.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. That'll be interesting. Yeah. This is it, though, for Philadelphia.
This is it.
You've got to abandon the process now completely. This is a complete 100% culture change. If there's any process thinking left, then you're screwed.
The process isn't complete. The process is complete.
Yeah.
I think, what do you think about this? Ben Simmons wants to have a comeback. He's been fishing.
There's no way.
Maybe he can send his lures to Philadelphia.
There's no way. There's no way. The Philadelphia fan base is such that there is no way he could walk back into that city after all that's happened. There's no chance.
Maybe.
No. Ben Simmons, here, this is my take. Ben Simmons will not have an NBA contract. If anything, he's doing another year of fishing or he's coming to the NBL. I don't see him playing professional basketball.
That's the Australian League, if you don't know NBL.
Yeah, I don't see him playing NBA basketball anymore.
I could see him getting a workout and being a not mid-level exception, veteran minimum contract.
That would be the only way.
He could still defend. I would welcome him on the Warriors.
Yeah.
Is he in my top 5?
We're going bad to worse.
Think about it. He can do what Draymond Green does.
Oh, I've thought about it. There's just no chance. There's no chance.
But he can do what Green does.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you want him to do what Green does. Look, I just think with this player and with the story that's been around him and I want to say even the lack of accountability, and even I'm just thinking like the podcast with JJ Redick, the disappearing act to go fishing, all of that sort of stuff.
The podcast saying, I love basketball, but clearly he doesn't.
No, the repeated process every summer of like putting these videos out of him working on the court, shooting 3-pointers, and then not touching the basketball, around the 3-point line during the season. He is done in the NBA. I can't see unless the Sacramento Kings were like, yeah, he's a former number 1 pick. Like,
Brooklyn, that's right.
No, Brooklyn's not going to do that again. They've already been down that road.
Oh, true.
No way.
Yeah, so it's got to be Sacramento.
Yeah, just some blind team that's got no chance anyway. Has a history of like poor decision making in the NBA. They'll be like, oh yeah, well, like maybe this will be the first step in the right direction. It's like, no, I can't see it. And I don't think that my take is, I don't think he's humble enough to come back and play in the NBL. That's the sense that
there's not enough money in the NBL.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If he's serious about resurrecting his NBA career, he could come play in the NBL, absolutely dominate. With his size, with his talent level, he could dominate in the NBL. He could turn heads and demonstrate that his basketball career is worth saving. If he did even half a season in the NBL, I'm sure that scouts would come calling, but I don't think it would be.
I think he'd be more ridiculed in the NBL than he would be in Philly.
No way.
I do.
No way.
Australians do not like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, but if you came here and showed that you could still play in your home country and you played for the Australian national team, finally, you could change the narrative. That's where it would start, in my opinion, anyway. But
just go to like Taiwan. Go to China. Join JaVale. No, JaVale McGee's over here.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors. You got some trades? So I texted you. I said, can you come up with a list of 5? I'm not just saying trades, but it could be the buyout market. It could be current free agents. It could be... It's got to be somewhat realistic. Like, you can't say, yeah, let's go get Giannis, because that's obviously not going to happen. So I've got a list of 5.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll just go back and forth.
Cool.
You go first, and then we'll talk about it, and then I'll go next. So we've got 10 total players. See if we have overlaps.
All right. So, I mean, one of the names that has been floated around that I just think would be a really good fit for the Golden State Warriors, but I still think the price is too high. If they were going to do this, they would have already done it. Danny Ainge just doesn't want to do Golden State any favors. I would love to see Lauri Markkanen on the Warriors. And it's an interesting time for the Utah Jazz, only because they've got some ballers over there now. And they're young, hungry, athletic, and is Lauri Markkanen's time in Utah done? And they're going to pivot to a younger, faster way to play. And if that were the case, then trying to get Markkanen onto the Warriors would be great. But if you're trying to get younger and faster, it's like, who are you going to take?
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. He's another big name guy. And it would almost, you would probably have to send Jimmy Butler across in order to make that
What's his
work.
contract?
It's lots.
Yeah.
He's right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
is he worth that max contract spot?
Yeah, and you'd then have to hope that Jimmy would want to take a mentoring role in Utah, which I don't think Jimmy Butler has the patience for. I hope Jimmy Butler comes back healthy and is on the team. But I just think at this stage of his career, I think he's maybe paid a little bit too much in this Warriors roster. It's a tough one. But yeah, getting Markkanen into the Warriors, I think would be another 3-point shooter, athletic. I think a big that could help space the floor. It'd be fun.
Yeah. I had him as like an honorable mention just because he has been talked about for so long, and I just don't think that... I think Utah and Golden State are going to be fighting for that, if things don't change, for that 10th spot.
Yeah, right.
Like, tanking shouldn't be a thing anymore, so Utah doesn't have any reason to tank.
Yeah.
And the teams, like, they're a better roster than the Clippers, they're a better roster than the Kings, and they're a better roster than the Pelicans. Like, those are the bottom 3 should be teams in the Western Conference, and that leaves Golden State and Utah. Like, what will Dallas be?
So who'd you got for your first target? Your primary target to fix all of the issues on the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. This one, I don't know if it could work, but the last time the Warriors won a championship, they had a young point guard that did a Steph Curry impersonation called Jordan Poole. I'd bring Jordan Poole back.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know he got punched in the face by Draymond Green.
Whoa.
But what they need is they need an Anthony Simons type player. They need somebody that can just create his own shot. And I think Jordan Poole's market is so low. I think even though he got punched in the face, I think he probably looks back at Golden State and goes, man, I really let that slip.
I think I agree with you there because his resume since leaving Golden State has been atrocious.
Correct.
The Washington years, atrocious.
Yep. Pelicans years, atrocious.
Garbage.
Is he still in the Pelicans right now, or where is he?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know. But his maturity level would need to step up. I wonder for the old heads on Golden State, you know, if you call and be like, redemption tour, this is what it takes. Are you in for it or what? But because clearly he's talented enough, just if he could do it consistently. But that's a bold take for your first trade target. Wow. I don't know. Does that come back to the Einstein? You're going to do what you've always done?
Well, if it does, then it's a championship.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yikes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So who do you have at your second?
All right. One of the issues I find with the Golden State roster is that they've been a little bit shaky at the center position. And I don't know if this fixes it, but I wonder if there's a way to get Myles Turner from the Bucks. And he was on, you know, he was rumored a couple of years ago when he was on Indiana. Nothing ever happened there. But Porziņģis and Horford, and you've lost Quinton Post now, is the Bucks year last year an anomaly for Myles Turner, or could he come in and, you know, block some shots, hit some threes, and be maybe a little bit more of an athletic version of Al Horford in that spot? And if Kristaps, Porziņģis, who they've just signed for $20 million, they've got similar contracts. If he even sniffs the floor, would you say that Porziņģis's ceiling is a little bit higher? If he could, would the Bucks be willing to take that, and then the Golden State Warriors could get a player who's a little bit more consistent, who can be on the floor a little bit more? That's, I think, would be an interesting fit for me.
If both players play 82 games, which player would you rather have?
That's
like Porziņģis or Turner. Sorry, those two players.
They're both similar. Like they were in the finals. Porziņģis showed flashes when they were in the finals in his limited minutes. He got injured. And that's the thing with Porziņģis. We don't know what kind of Porziņģis we're going to get.
Yeah,
and I guess it's a gamble either way.
Man, I remember he was like the original unicorn, original alien.
That's right.
Back in his New York days.
That's right. A lot has happened since then, though.
A lot has happened.
So anyway, looks like Golden State's going to double down and give Porziņģis another crack. I don't know. Is he on the team by the end of the year? That'll be the question. I
think it depends on so many variables.
Yeah.
All right, my second player is going to be. All right, this is another spicy one.
Huh?
It's from the Pelicans again. Zion Williamson. He's been healthy. And
healthy for Zion is how many games?
Last year I think he played over 60 last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing more games than a lot of the Warriors players are.
Yeah.
He still has that weight clause in his contract. That contract comes over to Golden State, so the contract stays the same.
Yeah.
He's got a big contract, but I think it's expiring.
Okay.
Or it's got he's up for contract extension, so I think he's got 2 years left. But culture, the Warriors have the culture. I think that he is a rim runner. He's a good combination with Steph Curry. You're looking at me like you don't think this is a good idea.
Okay, I want to keep hearing your...
He adds something that the Warriors haven't had since... Who? Who is the last time that was a real rim threat? Like right now it's Jimmy Butler, but he's injured. Was Andrew Wiggins the last rim threat for the Warriors?
I mean, if you ask Luka Doncic, the answer is yes.
Oh, yeah. Right? They just haven't had it. And I don't know. I still think maybe I'm like a Sacramento Kings person right now going, he used to be a 1 overall pick. He was, before Wemby, he was the most hyped number 1 overall pick since LeBron James.
Yeah. Interesting question. Here would be my question for you on that one. Do you think the culture of an organization can fix a guy, or do you need to bring guys in that fit the culture?
I think that the culture can fix the guy.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that crosses over for me to like the NFL.
Yeah.
There's always franchises that players can go to that have been problematic in other places because the tolerance level was a lot lower or higher.
Yeah.
So players, when Tom Brady was the quarterback, players go to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Other than Antonio Brown, because he sort of burned everything to the ground, and the culture would fix them. Currently, the Chiefs are that team. Yeah. And in the NBA, I think the Greg Popovich Spurs were that team. JaVale McGee is a good example on the Warriors. He was sort of like a career over, shacked in a fool type player.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He's talked a lot about that.
But on the Warriors, it resurrected his career, right? He then went on to...
I mean, he didn't have a bad career before. They just spotlighted all of his mistakes.
Yeah, but he also had high expectations coming into the NBA that he didn't really meet. So, I'm a big believer that culture can change players.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah, so I think Zion would be a really interesting fit in Golden State.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Who do you got third?
This is a bit of maybe a tangent. I actually was looking through, when you asked me this question, looking through teams that might be sellers. and what kind of teams have a player that is high energy, sort of defensive, efficient. And I was thinking about Kris Dunn on the Clippers. And Kris Dunn has played a couple of games against
Warriors
the Clippers,
killer.
and he has killed the Warriors. So why not bring a guy like that to Golden State? He's just a hard-nosed, disciplined defender and finds himself in the right spots at times offensively. And I was thinking, like, if you go down the line, maybe tightening up in the Brandon Podziemski sort of area of the roster, maybe behind DeAnthony Melton, sort of somebody coming off the bench or even starting in a way that is going to give you that. I thought that he would be an interesting team and maybe a little bit more realistic than some of the other names that I had on this list. Given that the Clippers are in flux, they don't know if they're going to have Kawhi Leonard or Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick on the team, like just what's going on there. It's going to be a bit of a wash season for them. Would this be an opportunity to maybe poach somebody of high quality who's maybe not in that upper echelon of talent, just to fix some of the issues where you get a little bit more athletic and maybe a little bit younger, and you tighten up some of that defensive capability. I think he's a player that Steve Kerr would like.
Yeah, and it's sort of a fringe player, right? Like, he's not a huge splash, but
That's right.
he would be a good. I mean, on this team, he would probably be the seventh man.
Yeah.
Would you put him above Guy Santos?
Well, I mean, he certainly plays like that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Guy can be a little bit flashy or a little bit like he can go on heaters, right? Where he plays really well, and then all of a sudden maybe he takes a couple too many steps here and there. But
a few travels. Yeah.
But no, I think Kris Dunn would be a good fit.
There's been rumors that my next player is on the buyout market.
Okay.
It would have to be a day, like, he's got an expiring $40 million contract.
Yep.
And I think this team wants him gone.
Yep.
And that's Zach LaVine.
Okay.
I would have to talk myself into this one more than Zion, more than Jordan Poole.
Wow.
I think if there's any...
You're going for some real big swings here.
I think if there's any player that is the least Warriors-like, it's Zach LaVine.
Yeah, okay. This is why I'm really intrigued that you're...
But,
give me the reason.
All right, buyout market.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to get to March 500.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
Can Zach LaVine help you score 20 points a game and just get you to that March time? You're not paying him, because that's when Jimmy Butler comes back, right? Yeah. And so you're not paying him that $40 million. He's on the buyout market. Maybe you're paying him $10 million a year. I think that's probably Zach LaVine's value now, because he's not a winning player, right? He's like a sixth man. Somebody that, he's like a Jordan Clarkson. Now he's a rich man's Jordan Clarkson, but comes off the bench and you just let him run the offense for 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, okay.
Just get shots up in bunches. Maybe you can, I don't know, get some dunks.
Well, yeah, some at the rim highlights would be really nice.
Like the non-Curry minutes. Put Zach LaVine out there.
Yeah, that's right. That's the trick, is that the Warriors highlights tend to be, 3-point shots when Curry's on the floor rather than athletic sort of air
Wiggins
space. Yeah.
That was the last guy was Andrew. Actually, no.
I think
Trace Jackson Davis posterized Wemby a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's now in basketball purgatory too.
Toronto. Is Toronto basketball purgatory?
Actually, coming back to Toronto, here's my other player that I thought would be an interesting fit. So Toronto drafted Colin Murray Boyles, who's a really athletic, big for them, which means I wonder what Jakob Poeltl would be doing, and if he could be a good player to be a center position. He is a culture guy. Toronto liked him enough to bring him back twice. Didn't he play on the Spurs in between those two teams?
He did.
So he's that intelligent, sort of hard-working, hard-nosed player. And I wonder if he would be a really good pick-and-roll center. He's not necessarily going to space the floor in the same way that other teams would, but he would protect the rim. He'd be going for rebounds. And I think that he would be sort of like intelligent and hardworking enough to be an interesting sort of like perhaps slight upgrade on the Quinton Post minutes that they had last year. Although you could
just that contract is massive he's making over $20 million a year.
Oh, that I would. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they brought him back on a very expensive contract.
Yeah.
So, but I get the type of player.
Yeah.
If I don't think he'd be in the buyout market, but if he did get bought out.
Yeah.
But how about this one then? Similar, maybe more athletic player that I think could be on the move is Gafford.
Okay, yeah.
From Dallas.
Gafford, we've talked about Gafford before.
Yeah. And I think it could be more realistic now. If Lively is healthy, I think they want to have players under 25.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, they've got Kyrie, so I don't know how that works. But have Gafford as your backup center. But you've got a lot of centers right now. So are you trading Horford and hoping? Yeah.
Well, who are the centers
right now? You've
Kristaps,
got Porziņģis. You got Al Horford. Draymond Green will play some center minutes. Maybe I was thinking if they had Giannis, they'd have a lot of centers. But he's a power forward. Yeah. I guess don't they have another one? Am I going crazy? Gary Payton?
Another center. No, they did sign, was it Charles Bassey?
They've got Bassey, yes. I like Bassey. He's an energizer.
So the other one that I would be interested in your thoughts on this, Nick Claxton's on a bit of a better contract in terms of the center spot. That's kind of what I was looking at. In terms of a rim runner, he can be a bit hit and miss, but Chicago's another interesting team where I don't think they have the pieces to move the needle. They kind of doubled down in some weird ways, but I wonder if they're going to be a seller this year in terms of trying to.
Yeah.
Nick Claxton made a trade for Nick Claxton. It's not going to sell you any more tickets, right? It's not going to. But would it be enough to sort of tighten up some of the backup center minutes, give you a JaVale McGee kind of archetype of a player who can catch some lobs, block some shots, athletic enough?
Yeah. His
another body to guard Wemby for a little bit. That's going to be a big job this year.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm just trying to think, what are the rules with trades? How is it February they'd be able to trade him? Because he's just been traded.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Obviously, we're not really taking that into consideration too much. But yeah, that's the only thing that I was thinking. What is the rules on trading players after they've been traded? He'd be an interesting one. I just think the Warriors' biggest need is just scoring. They need bigs, but they team rebound. I think their guards are some of the better guard rebounders in the NBA. And so for me, I'm thinking about players that can just come in and create their own shots.
That's true. And I guess they're hoping that Kristaps Porziņģis will be able to get more shots up this year. But if you I'm just going to read the roster and you tell me, who after Steph Curry is your biggest scoring threat?
Yeah, 100%.
Charles Bassey.
Nope.
Jimmy Butler III. Not till April. L.J. Cryer. Nope. Stephen Curry. Of course, him. Draymond Green. Nope. Al Horford. Nope. LeJay Jones. Nope. Yaxel Lendenborg. We'll see. Malevi Leons. Nope. DeAnthony Melton.
Yes.
Sometimes. Moses Moody. Not till March, April. If
Not
at
till
all.
Next year, I don't think.
Brandon Podzinski in heater moments. Kristaps Porziņģis. I hope so. Will Richard.
Sometimes.
Guy Santos. Sometimes.
I would say Santos is third.
Yeah, but not consistently. He's not going to average 20 this year, is he?
And he's not going to create, but he's a great corner point shooter. Yeah, no, it's grim.
It is grim.
And I think Draymond Green is grossly overpaid, even though it's a 1-year contract. $27 million for Draymond Green is just crazy for me.
And this loyalty thing, right?
It's a legacy contract.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to come up with one other player. I was I'll just go through players I'm thinking in my head. Trey Murphy, but that one's been talked about at nauseum. So
you'd think that would be done if it was going to happen.
Yeah, and you'd probably have to overpay for him, probably like at least 2 first-round picks. And are you willing to give up 2 first-round picks and probably Brandon Podziemski to get Trey Murphy? Brandon Podziemski has got a contract year, like he's extension eligible. So what kind of contract are you looking at giving Podziemski, or are you just saying, I don't think he's a bye-bye type guy. I think you've got to retain him, even for a trade piece. But who else in the league can just... Yes, who's selling? Oh, okay, I'm just going to go for another center. This is going against what I said, but I think Mark Williams...
Yeah, okay.
He's a good, energizing player who can come in and block some shots and get some rebounds. I remember when he was in Boston in 2022... before he got injured, was a problem for the Warriors in the finals. So Mark Williams, I'm going to make him my honorable mention because I do want a scorer.
I mean, Anthony Simmons is that kind of player. He can get pretty hot. But I think if he's on the Philadelphia 76ers right now, right?
Anthony, I think so.
I think that's the perfect team for him. I don't think they would want to give up.
Would you be willing, if you're the Warriors, to try and sign DeMar DeRozan?
I just don't know at this stage.
He's a free agent. You just got to get to March.
You just got to get to March. Yeah, right. Look, as a former Toronto fan, I love DeMar. He gave the Raptors some really good years. He was fun. He and his bromance with Kyle Lowry was exactly what the city needed at that time. It was the perfect segue to Kawhi Leonard. I don't think it's an accident that they won the championship the year after. That same year they made the trade. And unfortunately, DeMar has gone to NBA purgatory now. And it would be nice to see him have a fun year, but he's not going to help you get any younger.
No.
He's not going to help your defense. It's just going to add a ton of mid-range.
Yes, that's what they need.
If he would be willing to take a veteran minimum or something, something like that, I think that would be kind of exciting to have another player of his caliber on the team.
What are your thoughts on the potential Klay Thompson reunion?
I think one of the challenges for the Golden State Warriors is that the imagination is locked in yesteryear.
Yes, correct.
And if you bring back Klay Thompson, you are doubling down on that. I don't mind it. I like Klay Thompson. I think it's unfortunate the way that his contract situation was handled. I don't think he should have ever been traded to Dallas. But when he was last on the Warriors, he was a shell of himself. It was unfortunate. If this team really is going to pivot into this new era, they have to address that. And putting more money into players that were great years ago, I don't think it's going to make them much better this year coming and next year.
So are you saying we need to start focusing post-Steph?
I think that's where it's going.
So are you in the camp of we should trade him?
I think Steph has deserved the right to finish where Steph Curry wants. And if he wants to stay in Golden State, then he's going to stay in Golden State. That's fine. But I think you have to start looking at Draymond Green. You have to start looking around the rest of the roster. If Jimmy Butler doesn't come back the same way that he was, then you have to this team has to get younger. It has to get more competitive. There has to be more scoring. There's a lot of money in those 3 players. And so that's where you have to go. I think there are a bunch of teams that Steph Curry could go to that would just be a really fun way to end his career. I think the haul that you could get for Steph Curry could set you up for the next 5 to 10 years, but it's going to be like you must, as an organization, handle that with integrity. However you do that, because that'll make or break whatever happens next for your organization.
I actually don't think any team, that's a strong, I don't know if many teams would trade for Steph Curry. I think he'd have to be a free agent. because you're $55 million per year that you've got to come up with in cap. And so if you're Steph Curry will only want to go to teams that can actually win a championship. So the only team that really makes sense would be San Antonio, right? De'Aaron Fox, maybe Harrison Barnes, and draft capital. Like, that's really all that.
Oh, if you were the Warriors, though, you don't want De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes as the only players that are coming back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you would want, is it a Carter Bryant? Is it what young guy can you come and get back in that drill? That's what we're saying, was they have to find a way to get some young talent.
But it's got to be. I would say the Spurs are almost the only suitable team that could realistically trade for him.
Yeah, we did float that last year. We talked about whether the Spurs go all in for a pairing with Wemby and Steph. That would be scary. But you're only doing it for 2 years, and I think the Spurs are set up for a little bit longer.
You know what else is scary? Steph and Zion.
Oh, boy.
What a pairing.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, I would love to see it work. You know, for Zion and Ja Morant, I feel like, for me, as I watch those guys, they're two guys who are just peaked in their social media sort of...
Same draft class.
I know. That's exactly what I mean. Both of them highly touted. Both... Was it Mac McClung that same year? Just like the intensity around their dunking and their athleticism and so forth. Like, just, I wonder if kind of they peaked too soon a little bit in their careers.
To be fair, though, Ja was that guy. Like, Ja was amazing.
But what happened? I agree. He was that
culture.
Guy.
It's culture.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah. They don't have a good culture in Memphis.
No, but I think it's also like what you come looking for, what you expect when you get in there. And
can Adam Silver just do the NBA a favor and give us a nice schedule? Like, less back-to-backs.
Yeah.
More, I guess the home games have to be the same, but competition, you got the Clippers who suck now in your own division. We can play them, and the Western Conference isn't as strong as the Eastern Conference, so
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. I think the over-under is like 37 games, 37 and a half for the Warriors. Are you going over or under?
I have to be a person of faith. I'm going over.
Over.
Let's hope so.
Over. I think that's even what they finished with last year. I think 37 was their win total last year. I might be wrong, but
that's depressing when you put it like that.
I would like to go.
I think, Phoenix, Clippers, Utah, those are the teams that were jockeying with
Clippers.
The Warriors.
I would say Mavericks more than Clippers, but yeah.
But this is last year. The Clippers, right? And
yeah.
They may be not as good, but the Jazz are going to be better. Memphis is going to be a little bit more hungry and a little bit younger. So Utah is going to be, and Phoenix. These teams are going to be coming at them. I'm a little nervous, but let's be optimistic.
I've got my final scorer, Malik Monk. Come on over.
Again, I wonder if that would have been done if they really wanted him.
Yeah, but his value is lower than it used to be.
Yeah. So is everybody on that Sacramento roster.
Well, they've got some young. I think the thing is they actually have hope for the future now with the players they drafted, and things are looking up. So get rid of the old regime completely.
Can they light the beam?
Light the beam
Get
team.
the beam going again.
Anyhow.
Anyway, it's been fun. It's been fun. Let's see.
It's been good
Tell
in the
us
club.
What do you think? Who are the trade and free agent signings? Who are the players that you think should be on the Golden State Warriors by the start of the season, or targets that they should get when the season starts?
See you next time.